Welcome to another episode of Design Talk with your host, Dawn Christine.
Hey, there's Dawn.
Dawn. Hi, Dawn.
Hey, Greg and Liz. It's so
Nice
great
to
to
see you.
see you guys.
It's good to see you. Did you find the house?
I did. It's been a while, and it took. I had to put it in my map because I didn't know how to get here. But when I pulled around the corner, I said, "I love that house," and then I realized, "Oh my gosh, that's the house!"
It's a two-story house.
I know.
Before, you couldn't even tell there was 2 stories.
And it looks like a 2-story now too.
Yeah.
It does. Love the peaks, the openness, and
The vault.
especially the vaulting and the front porch.
Yeah, we spend so much time out here. Just, we'll have dinner, we wave to people on the street when they're walking their dogs. It is a great introduction to the neighborhood. For us to sit out here, enjoy a meal, have a glass of wine,
It's
enjoy
definitely
the breeze.
inviting. Yes.
Right? And the North Carolina climate.
Absolutely. A little humid, but it's still very welcoming, especially in the fall and the spring. But tell me, you guys moved here from California, and I know you had some aesthetic goals. You bought this house, and it was a little bit more traditional, colonial than you were hoping coming from California. So tell me a little bit about what you wanted to achieve. I remember, because I still have my wish list, but our guests who are watching may not know.
So we bought the house on a contingency that if we could make some updates to it and it satisfied our needs for openness, we would keep it, right? And so we lived in it for a year, and we were really used to more open space, lighting, more modern transitional type living decor. And that's what we needed to be able to transform into this house.
And it was so fun working with you guys because when I pulled around the corner driving here, I was like, we did it. I didn't even recognize the house.
Yeah, that's what people say. If you look back historically what it looked like and you say today, is like that was a completely new house. And it wasn't, it was a remodel.
It was, and that old house is nestled in here. The bones are in there, but we really transformed it. And I'm sure our guests would love to take a look inside. What do you think? Should we show them?
Yeah, let's go in.
It's great. Let's go in.
My 2 daughters, they help with some of the videoing.
Hello,
This is
I'm Pascal.
Hi, Pascal.
Nice to meet you.
Liz and Greg.
Nice to meet you guys.
And he is the pro here. Love, 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 love. Well, wait a minute. Do you love?
Yes.
Okay.
We're very happy with it.
Okay.
It feels very comfortable. It's light, airy, kind of what we were trying to capture.
Yes.
And it works. It's functional. Awesome. We can.
That was an interesting part though when we were figuring that out.
Yeah, and that hole all the way down there.
And what do you think of the two-tone? I'm so glad you went with the two-tone. I love it.
Is it gonna work?
Because nobody's bold enough to do it. I try to get everybody to do a variation in color, and so it's looking so good and not dated.
Yeah.
Because nobody's doing it. I think it looks great.
So I'm finishing my conversation with the client, and we talked about the two-tone color scheme and how glad she was that she made the bold color choice because it added a timeless appeal to the design. In addition to the pops of color, we added a fireplace feature, which is very eye-catching. It visually connects the kitchen to the dining room and becomes a warm and inviting element for both spaces. As we make our way to the sitting area located next to the kitchen, we discussed how best to connect the kitchen to this intimate seating area. The client went back and forth on arching the openings versus leaving them square, and ultimately opted to combine both arches and rectangular openings in the space. To make the design cohesive with the arches, we added subtle curves in various places. We decided also to integrate the two-tone color scheme of the kitchen throughout the design by bringing in natural wood trim and casing to all the windows and doors. When opening up the existing home to create a more fluid spatial design, the client still wanted enough wall area for their art collection. So we had to balance the open space concept with some wall definition to feature the client's pieces of art. And as you can see, the spaces flow beautifully together, and in addition to creating spatial connection and art, it was important to have separation. And the client wanted the sitting area to be able to be closed off. So you can see that we added some pocket doors to achieve both openness and separation. They can close the doors when they want separation, and they can open the doors when they want connection. You can see here the door pockets and connects to the dining room and provides both separation and continuity. Take a peek into this dollhouse nook, perfect for children's play. The new and expanded second floor. This room was created because the client wanted their 1.5-story home to look more like a 2-story house. So this room benefited by receiving extra tall ceilings based on the exterior redesign, which then connects to the office space where the client does a lot of work from home. And then has these beautiful bookcases with this secret passage. And you can see here, we're walking through this secret passage and there is storage on the left and the right. And so they can store a lot of things in this room. And here we are back in the office. Secret passage connects to this multi-purpose space, which opens up and also creates the 2-story look on the outside, which occurred when we expanded the second floor. Originally, the second floor was crammed into the roof of the first floor, which created short walls that had very low ceilings. Because of this, the second floor rooms were not inviting and were barely functional. But we transformed the second floor by modifying the roof lines with a combination of dormers and a Jack and Jill bathroom, a freestanding tub, open tiled shower, a built-in window seat, which connects to an additional expanded bedroom. You can see the 2-tone trim is kept in the design on the second floor. And now we're heading down the staircase to the foyer. And we will turn left, which takes us to the master suite. The client wanted to create a private sitting space with the master suite and improve the entry into the space. Because it's right off the front doors, it had to be somewhat of a public area. So we have the fireplace, a little desk area, a place to recline by the window, and then pocket doors which open up into the existing master bedroom. And you can see the fireplace from the living room. You can see here the glass door at the end is a side entry foyer, which we call the friend entry. You come right in and then you can access the mudroom and the kitchen and into the beautiful dining room, which you see the 2-sided fireplace. The dining room and the kitchen connect and benefit from this unique feature. And up these stairs leads into the space over the garage. Now we are going from the mudroom towards the kitchen with the expansive windows which frame the landscape on the end of the gable wall. The 2-tone pattern of wood and white is picked up in the window trim and in the cabinetry, harmoniously bringing in the natural light and the beauty of the North Carolina landscape into the home. The kitchen design features glass cabinets which showcase the dishes that would normally be hidden away, books, and it all comes together. You can see we've integrated glass cabinets throughout. They all have integral lighting. So in the evening time, all of the decorative glassware is displayed beautifully. The big island is very functional. We have tucked in appliance garages. And then we transition back into the dining room where you can see this cornerless fireplace. So she gets to enjoy this kitchen even from the upstairs when she's working hard during the day. On the back side of the house, the beautiful landscape opens up to the inside of the living room with this multi-slide pocketing door. The big opening and the skylights link the living room to the dining room to the kitchen and to the side entry, allowing all of these spaces to beautifully flow together. Every detail of the design was well thought out, from the gentle arches to the strong lines to the front doors which pick up the arches. The curves are also picked up in the wrought iron railing, leading to this welcoming front porch where the clients love to sit and have wine and enjoy the North Carolina natural landscape. After the completion of the project, I sat down with the clients, the builder, and we talked about how the home was transformed. We looked back at the original drawings and the client wish list, and we were amazed at how far the project had come from where it had started, and how all the pieces of the original house were still embedded in the new home design, but yet were transformed into a radically new space. We then looked back at 3D models for the interior and exterior of the design of the home, and we discussed how those visualizations really helped the client imagine what the completed project would look like.
So thank you guys for inviting me back into your home to see the finished product. I really am proud of what happened here. It's gorgeous. And I think it's so fun to look back at some of the original places that we started with the drawings and see how far we've come. So I brought with us the original floor plan that we started with right down here. And it's just funny to see that the bones of the original house is still here, but it's very hard to see in the finished renovation. And inside this kitchen, you had some nice windows in your original one, but this is so dramatic. And the windows and the vault and the connection to the loft office upstairs, it just feels so fun, inviting, and just a really awesome place to be in. So tell me, what is your experience before when you lived here? Because you guys, when you moved from California, you stayed here, you gave yourself some time before we actually got this started and got it built. So talk about a little bit how the space felt before.
So, yeah.
Let you start.
So when we first looked at it, the kitchen was dated. It was functional, but it needed an uplift. And our main concern with the house was there wasn't enough natural light coming in primarily into the center of the house, because there was that story above it, second story, that no one recognized there was a second story. And it just made that living space like a cave. And we needed to do magic to be able to pull in that natural light. So the vaulted ceilings, the double ceilings, windows made a huge difference on what we could achieve. Now the size of the kitchen I love.
I think what happened is we had our wants and needs, and Dawn came in with, I'll take those wants and needs and I'll give you these options. And the options that she gave us was to bring the light into this side of the house and behind us, to open up this area of the house to draw it in with the vaulting ceilings and the bank of windows. But the other options that she built in were not only the windows, but we got other aspects like the bar over here. We got this bar that pulled it all in. And as kitchens go, I wanted it much smaller, but yes, this is the perfect size. So everybody out there that wants a small kitchen,
don't do it.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
Oh, we can have family and friends come, and we don't feel lost when it's just the two of us in here. Greg has some certain spaces that he likes, and I have ones that I gravitate to. And so it flows really well for us. And I think the flow is what's key. And the lighting's gorgeous. We could sit in here all day, and we have to remind ourselves we don't need to sit in one room of the house. We have other rooms to enjoy.
It's so true. I mean, this space is just so pleasant with the amount of natural light and the views outside. The greenery just comes in and is the perfect color backdrop to your cabinetry colors. It just feels so fresh and inviting. But it's interesting because I was looking back at your wish list and I was seeing what you had originally written on there. And it's interesting because some of the things that we pulled together, we wanted the light, we wanted the extra space, but you also wanted the curb appeal and the presence from the street. And so here I was looking at your original house model, and it was very drab, traditional. It didn't have a lot of unique characteristics to it. And just by adding this extra gable roof here, this not only helped the appeal of the front of the house, but it also gave you that extra space inside. And that room turned out so fabulous with those high ceilings and the natural light. And the porch, even though the porch size essentially stayed the same, the architectural detail changed the look and feel of it so much. It's really quite interesting to be here and see it.
Yeah, this window that you put in the new version of the house is functional, that upper window, where before the other one was not. That was light into nowhere.
Yeah.
Right? And that was completely closed off area. And so now when we sit on that porch, we enjoy the openness and the light continues into the foyer.
And I love that you use the front porch. Now you guys hang out there and grab a glass of wine in the evenings and just enjoy that outdoor space. It's very inviting out there as well.
It is, it connects. The thing that I really enjoyed was we had this version, and Liz and I could have not thought up this version without you. And that's why you do what you do, and we don't. But to have the different peaks, to see how they came together, to be able to take the same space we had with a few adjustments, or more than that on your part, I'm sure, it really came alive, and it took a house and made it a home. And we do feel comfortable. We enjoy entertaining with people on the front porch, in the kitchen. The kitchen is big enough, and we had that discussion. We want 4 or 5 people in here cooking at the same time. And we arranged it with your help to be able to flow in that. We probably would not have been able to pull that off without you. So thank you.
Well, and thank you guys for just allowing me to be creative, because I can only be creative as my clients let me. So you guys, this was a partnership that we worked together and created something really fantastic. And to go on to that point is the two-tone colors that you allowed me to put in this kitchen are so unique, but it's so refreshing and beautiful. Even Pascal, who was doing the photography yesterday, he said, your eye just doesn't get tired. There's always something interesting to look at. As you move around the space, it's just so pretty. There's nuances to uncover as you look at each little detail. And I just love how it turned out. The fireplace, the loft, the huge island, even the thickened countertop that we did. That gives it, my girls were looking at it and I said, yeah, did you notice the thickened countertop? That really gives it a different feel. And then we did the solid stone behind the range, and it just all comes together. It's not too much where you feel overwhelmed by the design, but it keeps you interested and inspired. That's what I would say.
Yeah, I like inspired. And I think, you said, consider this two-tone. Just really think about it. And I was like, oh, I don't know if we can do it. I don't know. I kept asking, opinions from friends. I was like, what do you think? I mean, I'm going to show you this. What do you think? And they're like, interesting. I was like, all right, we're going to give it a shot. But it made sense for a space that was this big to also give it some definition, right? You know that there's a working space. You can see that, we've got this refrigerator hidden behind cabinets, and it kind of now tells you that's kind of the workspace there.
That's right.
And I think it flows beautifully. And, we carried it, kind of that theme a little bit in our woodwork throughout the house to kind of make a nice balance.
What I like about the kitchen too is that once it is functional, it flows, but then again, it gave the opportunity with Dawn's help to almost be a piece of art within the kitchen. Because we have the china, and everybody has something, that their grandparents gave or something that they want people to see, but we always put it in a trunk or we put it in a drawer. And this gave us the ability to put it on display and just to be able to see it every day of the year, as opposed to 2 or 3 different times.
Right.
And that to me, once again, goes to Pasquale's what he was saying is something is different every time you look, and it is. It's more than a kitchen. It really
Oh,
is.
it totally is. And then the fireplace feature, you know, having that two-sided and then cornerless, you know, it really connected the living room and dining room and made such a dramatic connection between those spaces that even the dining room is dramatic because of that cornerless fireplace. And so I know that was one of those items that was a big budget item, and we all had to fight for it because it was going to get cut out of the budget.
It's true, it's true. And then Greg had to fight for placement, because I was like, no, put it lower, no, higher, lower, higher. It's like, you gotta be able to see it when you're standing in the kitchen.
That's right. That's right. So it's interesting, and this is all great feedback for any of you guys that are thinking of redoing your kitchen or renovating. These are all things we had to consider together and make decisions and evaluate the needs, the options, and then the wants. You know, there were some wants that we had to forego to get the main thing right, and we can always come back around to. I know we have a wine cellar that is coming down the line, but it had to wait so that we could get this done right.
That's true.
But sometimes that has to happen, and that's all part of the process. But I think we should get the builder in here because the construction process is as important as the design process. So let's bring him in and let's get his take on it. What do you think?
Yeah, let's
it's
find
great.
Glenn, let's call him. We
Glenn.
probably still have him on speed dial.
Well, plus everybody should know that she suggested Glenn. So once again, the partnership continues, not only with the architect and the builder, with the client. And to us, we found that was incredibly important because it did make a huge difference in communication and everything else. So
And willingness to work together.
Yeah, and you have
Right.
to be able to have the right kind of feel, right? You need to be able to get along with both your architect and your contractor to make it work, right? To make it come to life, because it needs to be a good fit.
Absolutely. There have been so many times where there are jobs where the architect and the builder are at odds. So the architect is saying, let's do this, and the builder is saying, no, let's do it this way. And it usually comes out to be a mess because there's no one leading the design. But when architect and builder work as that team, you get results like this because we're all working for your good, which benefits all of us. I come out of it with a great portfolio piece. Glenn comes out of it with great recommendations, and hopefully people will hire him because you guys were pleased with him, and then you come out of it with an awesome coordinated project. So it's a win-win for everybody.
it is.
Yeah.
So let's grab Glenn and let's go to the next stage of this.
All right.